Hi friends, my name is Riley Schroeder. Welcome to my channel about all things living in Houston. I'm a local real estate agent and I was born and raised in Houston, so it's safe to say I know Houston like the back of my hand. So whether you are moving to Houston, your job is relocating you to Houston, or you already live here and you're trying to find the area that best aligns with your lifestyle, I have your back. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can learn what it's like to eat, sleep, breathe, and play all things Houston, Texas. Also hit that like button to help others like you find my videos about what it's like to live in Houston. I have helped so many people move and relocate to Houston and I absolutely love it. So be sure to give me a call, shoot me a text or email so I can help you too. This number will connect you directly to me, so reach out in whatever way you are most comfortable, after hours, weekends, day, night. I have your back when moving to Houston, Texas. All right, let's get into it, guys. You should avoid moving to Houston if you can't handle these 6 things. And number 1 is the heat. Houston is hot, y'all, and not this pretty 80-degree heat. We are 90, 95 degrees most summer days with the feels like of 99, 100, up to 103. It is no joke. And Houston's not a dry hot, it's a wet hot. It is very humid. You walk outside and it's like moisture hits your face. Gives you a beautiful dewy look for the skin, but it is horrid from the hair. And I'm gonna be honest with you, you're probably gonna sweat through the shirt you're wearing. I know my boyfriend will bring a couple extra shirts to work every day. Sorry, babe, I'm just blasting you right now. But it's true and you should be prepared. And here's the thing, we'll have the 90-degree days in December or January or February, where most other states are probably having snow. So it's something you should prepare for. If you can't take the heat, you should probably stay out of Houston. Number 2, you should avoid moving to Houston if you can't handle hurricanes and flooding. So hurricane season is June through November every year. That does not mean we're getting this catastrophic, very damaging hurricane every year. It does mean it's a possibility. So I remember speaking to a client of mine moving from California. They were really shocked that this is an every year thing. To most Houstonians, it's just a fact that we know, we live with, it's kind of normal. We have hurricane drills for our kids in school. We have evacuation routes. We also have flood and wind insurance. So as an advocator and educator for my clients, I'm always gonna recommend flood insurance no matter where you sit in Houston, just because Hurricane Harvey in 2017 just sat over the Woodlands and Conroe, which is north of Houston, and flooded those places worse than it flooded some of our more southern cities. So always gonna recommend flood insurance. Wind insurance, on the other hand, is only required in 2 of our coastal counties, and that's optional a lot of the times. The thing about Houston is we're nicknamed the Bayou City because we have bayous running throughout the city. So that causes flooding, or can increase your chances of flooding also. So we have 100-year floodplains, 500-year floodplains. We also have areas that are classified not in a flood zone. Even those have flooded before. So always gonna recommend flood insurance. Aside from hurricanes, we just have major flooding events. We are a concrete jungle and we have the bayou. In 2015, the Memorial Day floods dumped like 162 billion gallons of water over Harris County and damaged around 6,000 homes. A year later, the tax day floods in 2016 dumped an estimated of 240 billion gallons of water in Harris County and flooded about 9,500 homes and apartments. So those weren't hurricanes, those were just flooding events. Now, this information is not to scare you. Obviously, a ton of people still live in Houston and it's safe. It's just something to be very aware of, and as I've mentioned, take the precautions around. Number 3, you should avoid moving to Houston if you don't like bugs. Ooh. I don't like bugs and I still live here, but stay tuned for this one. So Houston is the 5th buggiest state in the US according to some extermination data, which gives me the heebie-jeebies just saying out loud. But it's true, and as I've said over and over again on my channel, Houston's hot and Houston's wet. so that brings insects. I remember being 8 or 9, hearing this earth-shattering scream come from the other room from my mom, to run in there, and she is on top of the bathroom counter because there's 2 roaches on the ground. And these aren't just normal roaches. Like, if you go for them, they'll fly at you. So gross. But again, don't be discouraged because I still live here. I get quarterly exterminations. I recommend the same for my clients, so they can be avoided for the most part. Another thing worth mentioning is our mosquitoes. We get a little bit of relief from them during the colder months, which in Houston would be considered December, January, February. But in those hot months and when it's wet, they like to fester around standing water, so they can be pests, and it is something to be aware of. I've actually had quite a few clients install mosquito misters in their backyard so they can enjoy it. So it is bad enough to where someone is installing a mosquito mister. It's something that you should be aware of moving to Houston and should avoid if that's a deal breaker for you. Number 4, you should avoid moving to Houston if you can't handle a lack of scenery. It's true. The downtown skyline, it is beautiful, and out in the rural areas where I grew up, there's some farmland and it's really, really peaceful, but you're not gonna get the rolling hills that you do in Austin or Dallas around Houston. It's actually known as the concrete jungle, and it's very flat. So like I mentioned, the skyline's beautiful and we do have the beach, but I had friends from Austin or Dallas visit my hometown in college, and I remember them being really shocked about the lack of scenery. So if that is something that's important to you, you should probably avoid moving to Houston. Number 5, you should avoid moving to Houston if you don't like to commute. So Houston is so big. We have the Loop, we have the Beltway, and then we have the Grand Parkway, and then we have other freeways going diagonally and through those that feed into downtown, and that's where your commute comes in. So I actually have a ton of clients that just center their home search around how long their commute time will be, how much time they want to spend in the car every day. So it's something for you to consider too if you're moving to Houston. We have 45, which is a southwest freeway that feeds Seabrook and Kemah and League City into downtown. We have 288, feeds Pearland and some more rural cities into downtown. We have 59 feeding Sugar Land and Richmond into downtown. The Katy Freeway feeding into downtown, which is painful during rush hour. The Northwest Freeway. We have so many different freeways and there's a lot of congestion. It's just a fact. You get more bang for your buck with housing in those suburbs, so that's where the commute comes in when you're working downtown or inner loop, which is where most of the big businesses are. So it's important to know that it's very common to commute, and with that commuting comes traffic in Houston, which gears me up for my 6th reason. You should avoid moving to Houston if you're insistent on public transportation. I know very few of my clients that actually use public transportation or center their home search around those stops. So I remember in college meeting someone from Chicago, and I was so shocked they had never owned a car. It's just very common in Houston to commute and own a car and live a little further out. Not to mention, our public transportation just isn't the best. It doesn't have a lot of stops. We do have the Metro Rail and the bus system. Those carry about 250,000 a day compared to 1.6 in Chicago and 2.4 in New York. So that shows you how small our public transportation system is compared to how large the city of Houston is. Our rail system covers about 23 miles and it's mainly inner loop. And then our bus system covers a lot of inside of the Beltway. But if you live in the burbs, you're kind of out of luck. You have to have a car and you have to be commuting. Guys, I have helped over 100 individuals, couples, and families move to the Houston area since 2019, and I freaking love it. And the only way I can help you is if you reach out. So you gotta reach out, give me a call, shoot me an email or a text, whichever is easiest and most comfortable for you. I want to have your back when moving to the Houston area. So that's it for now. Until my next video, I'll see you later.